All right, without further ado, I would like to present to you our very own recovery pastor, who's going to bring us an amazing message tonight on inheritance. Let's welcome Pastor Scott.
Yeah. Good evening. Is this thing on? Can you guys? Oh, there we go. I'm not that sweaty. I don't need that. They say I can't have clickers because it's bad. I know, here. I can't chew gum. All right, that's feedback. Do you guys hear that? Okay. Well, I hear it. Before I start, I got to honor the pastor of this house and First Lady Monica. I mean, when people come up here and speak, at least for me, it's like getting handed the keys to the car. You know, I mean, they might tell me what to say, and they might tell me how much time I have. But once I'm up here, once you give me the keys to the car, I can do whatever I want. Until someone comes and tackles me from the front row, I won't tell you who that is. Well, there you might, yeah. Anyway, inheritance. What does that have to do with recovery? Where's the cricket noise? You got it or what? Yeah. If you think about it, let's just say, it's not even an argument because there is a Lord and God. If not, none of us would be standing here because none of us are that lucky. Right? If you think about it, did you really get what you deserved?
Come on.
Absolutely not. And if you want to argue with me about that, we can do it after. That's fine. But let's just say the big book is all there is. And I love AA, by the way. I love it. I'm a strong supporter of it. If the big book's all there is, then you got the promises, and that's your life right there. No, not that that's bad. That's good. Really good things. You want that. But first and foremost, that was inspired by Bill and Bob. It was inspired to them by the Lord. There's only one Bible. Your life only comes from one place. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. I was there too. I was not there yet a long time ago. A long time ago. And lots of people told me there was a Jesus, and lots of people told me there was all this glorious life you can't even imagine. And I just stood there thinking vengeful thoughts and wishing I could order a pizza. If you've never been here before, I love pizza. More than I love most things. Not my wife or the Lord, or my kids, but probably after that. Anyhow, the handout you have, by the way, if you came to church on Sunday, looks very similar to the handout you got on Sunday. The headings are different. I did that on purpose, once because I was asked to, and secondly, because it dawned on me that it can be difficult to translate what you're reading in the Word over to your life. When you figure out how to do that, it's much more interesting. I mean, you read it, you read it for a different purpose. I mean, when you can look at the words on the page and say, you know what? By the grace of God, there go I. I mean, look at this first one. Stopping the Jordan. That's what's happened in your life. Look at your life in recovery. The Lord put people in your life to go before you and lead the way. You didn't have to figure it out unless you really wanted to do it the hard way. But eventually you'll learn you need to follow someone, and they're going to stop the Jordan for you. They're going to show you what to do and how to do it. How will you know that person? You'll recognize them by their fruit. You'll notice Pedro. Restoration's happening in his life. He's got 2 years. Pedro, there's more. Amen. 2 years. There's 3 years even. 2 years and a day, but besides that, there's more. I can tell you, there's more. There's more. And dude, it doesn't get worse. It gets better. Way better. Might get a little harder at times, but it gets better. But we'll talk about that later. The next one. This is another amazing thing the Lord does. He'll bring people to you. He'll bring people into your life to speak to you, to show you the way. And a lot of the times, he uses people that are the most unlikely. Like, for instance, I'll give you if you've heard me speak before, I use a lot of stuff from my own. Dude, that noise and that microphone is a disaster. Are you guys doing anything back there? What are you doing? Oh, sorry, it's the microphone. It's not me. Anyway, he will use the most unlikely people. If you know me and you've heard me speak before, you know I use myself and my own walk as an illustration of the ups and downs and the bipolarness and, if you had a video of my walk with the Lord and in recovery, you'd be like, man, is this guy just a glutton for punishment or what? But for instance, the Lord used an older man. He's old now, but he was older when I met him. And if you know anything about my past, I have a big problem with old adult males. Why? Because an old adult male stole my childhood. I think you can use your imaginations and figure out what that means. So I didn't talk to older adult males ever. And they definitely weren't very close to me. Well, he put one in my life. My buddy comes walking in the house that is in recovery. We were in SV4. And he brings a sponsor in the house. And I'm like, who's this old guy? I'm trying to watch Gladiator, and you're bringing some old person in here. And anyway, he ended up being my sponsor. How does that work? I mean, what do I have in common with a 70-year-old, wrinkly person that reminds me of the person that stole my childhood? Well, the Lord knows, and I'm telling you, I don't know what the Lord just worked his stuff through that man. Holy smokes, resentment went away. I stopped being so vengeful. Yeah? I let my guard down. It's amazing what he'll do. So you go ahead, if you want to go the hard way, and pick your own sponsor. Your buddy. That you can talk into anything, The one that'll co-sign you. Everybody has searched. I think everybody's searched for that. Their first sponsor or second sponsor is the co-signing type, right? Like, I'm going to pick the easier, softer one. How did that work out? Not good, right? Second, or third, the circumcision and the reputation. What we're talking about with circumcision is this. You got to clean the dirty areas of your life. They're not a secret, y'all. A clean one can smell it from 100 miles away. You got to cut it out of your life. You have you have lost every right to complain or whine or cry about anything when you fall in a hole repeatedly that you choose to fall into because you won't cut that crap out of your life. And I know I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's just straight up truth. I mean, the truth is truth is the truth whether I like it or not. You can't just cut the booze away. If the booze was the problem, we'd be good. You cut the booze away and I was just miserable, horrible, terrible, unhappy. I had to drink or change. If not, I'm going to keep falling that same hole over and over and over. And I don't need to point out what our holes look like. They're all over the place. The holes are the places where you try to get life from, your identity from, your well-being from. It comes from him. That's why, even if you don't believe that right now, and you're wondering why your life is so hard and sucky, that's why. Because you're trying to get your life from something that other than the source. And I tried to get my life from something other than the source for a long, long time. I'm surrounded by people that call themselves Christians that try to get their life time to time from other things than the source. Relationships, what they wear, what they drive, how smart they are. We do that. We're going to get into that later. We just do it. You don't have to be a drug addict or alcoholic to do that. I mean, our egos and pride are ridiculous. When you do when you do start to get clean, though, and you do start to cut away things, your reputation changes. Well, how does that work? Well, first of all, you start feeling better. You start looking better. You start thinking different. Trust me, your reputation is going to change. I remember when my mom let me back in her house, and I made the bed after I woke up in the morning. And she noticed it and came downstairs and goes, "Who are you?" And all of a sudden, I'm this clean person. When you cut away things, the dirty areas of your life, you're going to be different. You don't got to worry about trying to be unique. You will be. You start loving the Lord, you're going to be different. You're supposed to be. You're going to stand out. You're going to do things that aren't popular. It's the things you were doing that were popular that got you in trouble in the first place, like getting in that car. I don't want them to think I'm different. Well, you are. Let them be attracted to you and come over to you. Come to church with you rather than you getting in that car. How many times you got in that car? Too many times, huh? Thousands, dude, thousands. I was just going to the store. Dude. And that isn't even smart. It doesn't even sound smart when we say it. But we fall for it like it's the best laid plan on the planet. Like, I've thought this out so well. It's not even like an exotic excuse or like, I was going to the store and I needed a ride and no one could drive me except for my old using buddy. And they had the best discount on cigarettes and soda at the liquor store, so I went there. I'm just telling you, that was one of my plans. I lived at SV4, and then right across the... Anyway, you don't need to know where liquor store is. You do. You already know. Here's another one. Now, we heard this on Sunday if you were here at church, but it's straight out of the Word. If you weren't at church, you've heard of Jericho before? They were told to march around it 7 times. In recovery, you are going to have to do things that you don't understand why you got to do it. Your sponsor's going to say, do this. And you're going to be like, well, why do I got to do that? Just do it. Do it. Trust someone else other than yourself, for Pete's sake. My thinking got me in these rooms. It got me in treatment 7 times. It got me divorced. It got me 2 lost businesses. It got me in nowhere good. I'm going to listen to what the people the Lord has put in my life say. That's the only reason your family's restored, is because you shut up and listened to what the people the Lord put in your life had to say, right?
Yes, sir.
And you did it. And then you made everybody cry up here. If you guys weren't here for that, you got to YouTube it and watch it online. I mean, whole front row, just snotting, and I was up there too. I have to admit it. I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so don't worry about if you know why you're having to do it. Just do it. Just do it. And if you do it, and if you're obedient, you know what you're going to see? You're going to see those walls in your life come tumbling down. Yes. That is a 100% guarantee. Look I got this sponsor that's as old as dirt, and the Lord just said, trust me. And I said, okay. I even told my sponsor, the guy that. I go, you know what? I think the Lord's telling me that he wants you to sponsor me, but this is how I really feel about him and you. He's like, let's do it. I'm like, okay. I mean, he was on fire. He's like, yeah, sure, we can do that. No, I'm like, I just told you I want to dig a hole and put you in it out back. And I don't even know your name yet. He's like, don't worry, we'll get to that. Anyway, so here we go. Yeah, watch those walls of your life come tumbling down. I mean, it's amazing, dude. I get so excited for people. I mean, my mouth waters when I talk about it because I get so excited. To know that it is a 100% guarantee that those walls are going to come down. It's not, well, maybe they will. Just do it and we'll see if it works. Nope. It's a 100% guarantee. You got to have a little skin in the game, though. You got to, do things that you don't have any reason. I have no idea why I'm doing them, but I'm going to do them. That's kind of you got to go about it, I don't trust well. That's fine, dude. Just do it. Don't tell me you don't trust. You bought mysterious stuff in a baggie for years. Just hoping that that's what it was in the bag. Don't tell me you don't trust well. I've been hurt by people. Well, we all have been hurt by people. I mean, you don't know. Someone in this room knows. The next one, and I was going to ask Danny how to pronounce these names, and now I can't even remember. Achan? No wonder it isn't. Okay. Achan's sin. Well, what does that have to do with recovery? It's that secret sin. Oh, now it's cricket noise time. The secret sin, the stuff you're doing that nobody knows about. Go to church on Sunday. Where'd you sleep, guys? When you had that overnight. Yeah, look at the grins. Women, you're just as guilty. I just pick on the men because I'm a guy. I can do that. That's that secret sin. That stuff you think you're getting away with. Trust me, you're not getting away with it. You reek. You can see it from 100 miles away. You know how we can see it? The fruit in your life. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just what happens. We telling ourselves like nobody's business. We think we're all sneaky and sly and we pulled one over on the person. We're the punk at the end of the day, right? I don't know about you, but after tonight, I'm going to go home with my wife and my kids. Well, not my wife, she's out of town, but my kids. And I'm not going to have a pizza. And it's going to be great. My grandson's going to be there, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and go work out, and everything's going to be great, hopefully. It's going to happen. You know why? Because I'm up here in front of all you all. Or I'm sitting in those seats. That's why it's going to happen. I'm not trying to pull one over on you. I can't speak. I got a tummy ache. I can't go to the meeting because, I had to work early. And I'm tired. Were you ever too tired to get high, ever? That boggles my mind. I was never too high to get high. Never. I mean, for you non-addicts in here, I mean, I was never, no, I'm just not thirsty. What? I know, laughing. It's funny, isn't it? The next one, the good thing about sin, though, the good thing about this secret sin, if we try to, all right, the pastor just talked about my secret sin. Obviously, I know he says I reek, so I got to do something about it. All right, I'm just going to change everything. But I'm going to do it in my own strength. Not going to work. I love the effort. Let's just change it around and ask for help. You want victory over that crap? Let yourself be known. Well, I don't want people to know. It's embarrassing. We know anyway.
Right.
I mean, what are you embarrassed about? I don't want them to. Well, you might think differently about. Give me a break. No one's going to think differently about you. It's either been done or thought of, and it's either going on right now or it was. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just get it out of your life because it's going to take you down like an anchor. It's going to take you down. You know why you're not where you want to be? That's why. And it's going to expose you if you don't expose it. That's a guarantee. The good thing is, though, is you have a second chance. If you don't, who had lots of second chances in here? Thank the Lord there's second chances. By His grace, we get to go back through. Everybody gone around the same mountain over and over and over and over and over and over, right? We all know the definition of insanity. We try the same old stuff to get, do I not have to go around anymore? I try to do it with working out all the time. I'm still going around the same mountain over and over and over. How you do this week? Well, I did good there. This is like confession when I'm up here. I'm doing good here. I kind of fudged here. I don't know what that had to do with this, but it's because you're sitting in the front row. Secrets, that's right. By His grace, we get to go back around, and with God, there's victory. Everlasting victory. Not just victory over for a second. It's all the time. Who would like to be victorious all the time? Once again, 100% guarantee. You're wondering about your inheritance. Well, good thing about your inheritance, you win every time. Every time. Different kind of victories. Real close, like neck and neck victories, blowout victories. I mean, the victories are not, you think the victories will get boring. They don't get boring. Trust me, they don't get boring. At least I haven't had one that got boring yet. You know, if you're one of those kind of glass half empty type of people, well, I don't know. Trust, they don't get boring. Here's another one. How can I relate to the Bible? Well, the Bible talks about alliances. Who do you align yourself with? Guys in your houses, BSM, Serenity Village. Who are you aligning yourself with in your houses? You better. Let me tell you in no uncertain terms, if you don't, you're going to be the sucker at the end of the day, and they will take you down with them. They don't care. They just care that you're with them. I'm just saying, I'm telling you. Guys at SV8 know exactly what I'm talking about right now. And yes, I threw the whole house under the bus. Because they know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't, people pleasing, and you got to be serious. Serenity Village is not treatment. This is like, I don't know. You got treatment here, you got big boy here, and in the middle you got Serenity Village. It's like learning how to do the big boy stuff.
Right, it's true.
Learning to pay the rent before the cell phone bill. I mean, you think that would be, for you, for the non-addicts in here, you think, and the parents, you think that would just be academic, but not to us. No. We think we can drive with no insurance. We can have gas for the car, we can afford to buy the car, but we don't need a license or insurance. I'm just saying, that's how we do it. Right? I never had insurance until... No, I'm kidding. Anyway, all right. Alliances. Who do you align yourself with? You need to take a big look at that, man. I'm telling you, align yourself with the people that have the fruit in their life that is attractive and that you want. Don't align yourself. And dude, the ones that make you uncomfortable. They're going to a meeting and you don't want to go. That's the person you align yourself with right there. Just saying. Do what you don't want to do. You've all heard it before. Pastor Jeff needs to write a book of those, whatever you call those things. All right. Here we go. What time is it? Ooh, gotta hurry. Joshua 11 in the NIV, the Lord said, now in this verse, you guys, there is 2 commands, a promise, and a timeline, for Pete's sake. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Not only is he commanding you to do something, but he's giving you a timeline for it. He's not saying, well, you know what, just be obedient, and my timing is perfect, so don't worry about it, it's going to happen. No, he says, you know what, you're going to be obedient, I'm going to do this right now. So you don't got to wait. Like I hear all these excuses going through my brain, well, I just don't know when it's going to happen, and, you know, all the stuff we come up with. Well, right now he is saying, listen, do this, I'm going to do this, and after I do this, make sure you do that. I mean, there's no guesswork there. You don't have to wonder, right? The Lord said to Joshua, don't be afraid. That's the first commandment. Not the first commandment, but the first commandment in this verse. How do you not be afraid? Because being afraid is real, right? I'm going to pick on you guys because you're in the front row. Being afraid is real. We feel it, right? It's not something, we don't make it up. Well, we might exaggerate in our brains, but it's a real thing. When you fear the Lord, it's not the same fear that you feel. When they talk about fearing the Lord, it's an awe. That awe overpowers that fear that you have. But you have a responsibility. What is it? You got to step into that. You got to step into that awe. You got to step into that light. I wasn't born just to come up here and not feel weird about speaking in front of 300 people. Especially me. I'm a stinking people pleaser. I'm not okay unless you're okay type of thing with me. I mean, it's ludicrous. Not anymore, but that's how it was. So for me to be standing up here, I should be really afraid. I'll be afraid after, but I'm not now. Then you'll have to deal with it tomorrow morning. What was I saying? Oh. See, my brain just gets going. All right, so don't be afraid. Because by this time tomorrow, I'm going to do what? I'm going to have your problem solved that you were just worrying so crazy and all anxious about, like court. What? No one's had court here before? You get around all your buddies who obviously are lawyers and PhDs and stuff in the law, and they're going to tell you what's going to happen. I've had 16 DWIs. I can tell you what's going to happen. This is what they're going to do. And he might be right because he's got some experience, but still, he doesn't know the Lord's going to do something, and he always does. I'm going to do this, but I need you to do this. And you're wondering, you probably read this right here at the end. The other command. You are to hamstring your horses and burn your chariots. What does that have to do with recovery? Well, you want me to tell you what it's saying? It's saying, after you rely on me, I am going to do all these things, do this thing for you and make it a non-issue. All right? But I'm going to ask you to put away the things that got you into that position in the first place. All right? That means don't arm your enemies. Disarm them. Disable. Don't go there. Don't get in the car. All right? Don't get in the car. Don't call old girl at 2 a.m. Ladies, come on. Be honest. You do it too. You know those things you do. Don't do them. I do it. I want to do them sometimes, I'll tell you that. Don't do them. How do I not do them? Rely on him. Rely on the person he's put in your life, right? Does that work out pretty good? Right? That's the only way it works. It's the only way. If there was a different way, trust me, I'd tell you. If someone already figured it, there's just not another way. The next one. Jeremiah 12:25. It's supposed to be hard. That's absolutely correct. If this was easy, everyone would do it, first of all. You don't realize how many people would be sober if it was just about not drinking or getting high? Dude, this room would be, I don't know. We'd be able to fill up one of those big stadiums we just built. It's not about that. It's about the internal work, and that separates the women from the little girls and the boys from the men. It's supposed to be hard. It's going to be hard. I'll tell you right now, Pedro, 2 years? Hard, right? Hard work? Work you've never done before, right? There's more. Way more, dude. But because Pedro now has a different perspective on the hard. He understands that the hard work, the blessing that comes out of not quitting is ridiculously awesome. And he doesn't even have to understand it. He just knows that it is because that's true. And so he doesn't quit. So Pedro will have 2 years and 3 years and 4 years and 15 and 25 until he dies. Because he knows. He won't stop. Even when life happens. Life happens, right? Life doesn't just get hunky-dory because we're sober. Is that right? I mean, you guys just got married. You know. Right? It doesn't. There's stuff happens, dude. I mean, I thought my kids were going to be fantastic and never get in any trouble again. I thought I was the problem and everything would be good. Holy smokes, it was like the second I got sober, then I realized how bad they really were. Kristen, Jordan, you're not bad. You're amazing. But, oh, am I going to hear about that when I get home? I can just hear my wife texting in the comments online right now, like, what are you doing? And you have a lot of explaining to do. That's what she'll be saying. Anyway, so it's supposed to be hard. If you can't get through this, if you can't get, Serenity Village, guys, maybe BSM, I'm not exactly sure how their rules are, but Serenity Village, guys, if you can't manage to go to the meetings and be home on time and do your chore and da-da-da-da-da, and all you can think about is moving out and moving into the girl and buying a new house and doing whatever that nightmare looks like, how on earth are you, if you can't do the simple things in Serenity Village, how on earth are you going to go out there in the real world?
Right, come on.
I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right? I mean, think about it. I hear, not every day anymore, but pretty often, but so many meetings, and they ask me to do so much stuff, and why do I have to be home, and why can't my girlfriend come over? And why? You're not doing any of it anyway. And if you are doing it, not all of us, but if you are doing it, you're kind of half doing it. You know what I mean? Like doing just enough. I wasn't just enough dopehead, I'll tell you that.
Come on.
When did you ever do anything just enough? Never, ever. But we get a recovery, and we're not used to being uncomfortable, and we will barely do it. Do it enough just to shut up the house manager. You know, it's not a whole lie, it's kind of a lie. Right? No. Once again, you'll tell on yourself. You know how? Because we'll know it by the fruit in your life. We just will. Don't tell me you're going to 5 meetings a week and you got a sponsor and you're going through all the steps and you're going to doing all the right things and nothing good is happening in your life. That is crap. I don't read that in one of the promises. I don't even read that in the big book. If it says you're doing everything you're supposed to do, what does it say? We got no big book people in here? All right, well, I wish I would have wrote it down what it says, but it's supposed to be good. I can tell you what the Lord says, though. It is a 100% guarantee that your life is going to be transformed and changed. Oh, man, that's going to be on YouTube for sure. See, you won't let me put gum in my mouth. I'm trying to put this thing in my mouth. I got this in my hand, flicking it back and forth. Anyhow. Am I sweaty? Oh, no. I don't want that. I'll throw that if I get it. Flip it around. Yeah, see? Joshua 11, verse 11 through 15. Give God your problems and they will be completely destroyed. That's absolutely right. I could tell you the fruit of me handling my problems. What were they? When you tried to handle your own problems, what happened? Everybody's looking at me like, yeah, that's right, man. Well, what happened? It was you won the race and nobody found out how bad you were and that you lied about everything to get to where you were and, you know, you finished probation and then lived a fruitful life? No. When you tried to handle your own problems, everything was a shortcut. Even if the shortcut took a really long time, it was still a shortcut. Right? I'm the expert at shortcuts. If I could make money off writing a book of shortcuts, I would. But the problem is it wouldn't lead anywhere. You get lost all the time. I don't know if what I said just made sense, but that's what I wrote on the paper, so it must have. Everyone is to put, or everyone in it, they put to the sword. They totally destroyed them. I'm telling you what, that I had so much depression and so much anxiety and so much garbage going on in my brain that, I mean, if I could line the pills up, the bottles, it was just, I don't know how many pills I was eating a day. Just for that crap. When all I really had to do was find the source, and the source was I couldn't tell the truth if it was water and I fell out of a boat. I had to learn how to lie, or how to tell the truth. I was a liar. Once I learn to live truth, holy smokes, what happens? Less pills. I'm not anxious because I don't have to remember what I said. Right? I'm not depressed because I was depressed because I forgot what I said, and then I got found out, and it was, now I'm not this guy that I thought I was, so I'm depressed. It's that easy, by the way. Find the source, find the lie, give it to the Lord, walk through it with him and his people, and it'll be completely destroyed. I don't know if he's telling me the truth. Well, you're trying all the pills. Why don't you just try this and then, see if it works out? I 100% guarantee it will. I'm not saying you won't have to be on pills anymore. I still get some anxiety sometimes and, all that, but I'm not, I can't even tell you. It was like 9 bottles. And none of them were vitamins. Not one. Like cholesterol and fish oil and whatever else. No, they were all like lorazepam and, just everything. Terrible. There's a time and place for pills. I'm not saying medication is bad. I'm just saying when you're taking 2 sleep aids, it's bad. I was, dude. I'm telling you, Seroquel and Trazodone. Who on God's earth needs to eat that at the same time and they can't sleep? I could sleep okay. In the morning, I wake up, people know who's on that. That's why they act that way in the morning. That's Byron over there. He's the head house manager at the treatment center I work at, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's get to another meaty one. Joshua 13:11 or 13:1. Now, this verse, I love it because it deals with our excuses, our legitimate excuses, mind you. Now, in this verse, it says this: when Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to him, "You are now very old." The Lord's even acknowledging your infirmity or your lack, or yes, I know you only have 1 leg and 1 arm and can't see good, but there's still more to do. All right? He can work with that. How could he work with me? In 2005, I couldn't read. 2005, what year is it now? 2019? I can read pretty good. Kind of well. I'm serious. 2005, I couldn't read. And now I can. He worked with me. Lord, I can't read and you know everything else that's going on with me. How on earth are you going to use me? There's still more to do. 2 years, Pedro, still more to do. And it's glorious work. The cool thing is with this, though, is, and I don't know why I'm picking on Pedro. I know, he brought the most people. He deserves it. And here it says, it doesn't matter if you're too old, you got no time, you got no money, you got no energy. He knows all this. He knows it. I use every excuse in the book not to do stuff. It's all BS. I have to do it anyway. Can I say that?
I already did.
I can? I already did. Yeah, that's right. Sharp as a razor. That's right. I already did. Too late now. Did I just shake my butt on TV? I did. Anyway, we could put that in our workout thing. Anyway, no energy. He knows. There's still more to do. And this is the blessing. While you're doing stuff, while you're serving, while you're working with other people, while you're, living life and doing stuff, he is going to, dude, he will expose you. I don't want to be exposed. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, man. I'm telling you. Yes, you do. I got exposed today, for Pete's sake. Anyway. But it was a disaster that the Lord turned out, and the fruit of it was just glorious. I don't know about you, but when you're doing the Lord's work, you get attacked sometimes. All right? You get in your feelings. You get a little sensitive. I was sensitive. Then somebody communicates to you by text message. That's the worst. You want to get bent out of shape, read into a text message. It's terrible. I mean, I'm reading into it every which way, and by the time I'm done, dude, I have her head on a platter. I'm like, are you stupid? I mean, and not to mention my door gets knocked on, like it's just constant, all day, every day. And I got stuff to do, and things are taking, I don't have time to like do things over. So it's got to be done right the first time when it gets busy like that. And everything was having to do twice. And then on the way here, I had road rage. I got cut off. I mean, not to everyone on the road was fine. I mean, it was just me in my car raging by myself, talking to myself, and just, you know, all the stuff we do. Anyway. And well, yeah, I totally exposed. The Lord exposed me, but he used it because why? Why did he expose? I'm a pastor, for Pete's sake. I've been in recovery a long time. I get to talk in front of all you guys. I still rely on myself. If anyone should know, I should know to rely on him first, and it's quick, easy, and it'll be good. Just pray, give it to him, maybe call your sponsor. Did I do any of that? Nope. I wrapped up myself in these feelings like nobody's business and just snuggled with him for like 8 hours. Just all wrapped up, and I'm like, I was so excited to tell Jamie when she got here, too. I was like, you never guess what happened, dude. I'm so glad you didn't answer the phone when I called, because I called her like a jealous boyfriend 3 times, like, within 5 minutes. And if she would have answered the phone, it would have been like, just vomit coming out of my mouth. But she didn't even answer. She was too busy. I think it was the Lord that she didn't answer for me. Because if not, I would have, anyway, it would have been a lot of, what do we call that? Amends? I don't make an amends like nobody's business. But, so the Lord will uncover us and expose us, not to hurt us, but to say, you know what, you're ready to work on this now. You weren't before, but you're ready now. And you have the tools. It's more of a compliment if you think about it. It's not saying you suck. Look at how bad you are. You should be here, but you're really here. No, he's saying, finally, you're here. And now you're ready to go there. But you would never make it there. You could take all the shortcuts you want. You'd never make it there until you do this here. That's why there's always still more to do. Always. Those plateaus in recovery we feel, they're all man-made. They're all in your brain. They're ridiculous. Well, I've been sober a while now. I think I'm good. Let's move out. If you're the only one that has that plan for your life, you're in big trouble. Big trouble. Happens, you see it in treatment. You see it in Serenity Village. I'm good now. You know what I mean? We don't even say that probably. We just, it comes out in our actions. Right. You know, we take our foot off the gas. You know, just to look at the scenery. Take a break. You're just delaying the inevitable. And like I said, everyone can see it. We know. Who's the we? The people who got the foot on the gas because they're passing you. All right? That old woman in a walker going by you on the side of the road, it's because you got your foot off the gas. She's doing what she should be doing. You know what I mean? That's a bad example, but you get the drift. Allocated land. What did I put on there? Oh, where am I? Jeez, that's the wrong sheet. There we go. You have a reservation. What do you mean I got a reservation? It's called your inheritance. It's reserved for you. Everything we've talked about up until now is what keeps you from it. You keep yourself from it. All those things that I've been talking about, all the insecurities, the living dishonesty, the people-pleasing, where you're trying to get your source from is what keeps you from that. Plain and simple. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to heaven. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. Fine. If you want the life he has already made you the person that you are supposed to be. You've spent the last however many years you've been getting high and drinking and doing whatever, trying to be someone else. It's called fraudulence. I'm a king fraudulence. Fraud, 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 fraud. I'll be whatever you want me to be. I can't really do that now because I'm kind of stuck this way, but before, when I had hair, I'd be whatever you want me to be. Now, he's made you this person who you were born to be. An honest person, a free person, a person walking in their salvation, a person walking victorious in him. And let me tell you, it feels good. It feels real good. It's scary sometimes because you don't think you can do it. Don't worry about it. He'll equip you. How am I supposed to be standing up here when I couldn't even read?
Come on, that's good.
How? Can't read, horrible anxiety, horrible depression, on a bunch of pills. You know, I mean, how am I supposed to be up here? Because I'm just that good? No. In him I am. In him, psych. It's awesome. But in myself, ugh. That's the two feelings, awesome and ugh. Like in him, I look in the mirror, I'm like, I have never seen a more better thing in my life. When I'm in me, I'm like, what's going on? I'm pointing at myself in the mirror. I'm like a little child. I'm like, what is that? It's just, we're never good enough, right? In ourselves, we're never good enough. Yeah. Flipping the pages in the magazine, flicking on TV, like, I don't want to be like that. You know, it just doesn't work. Then the pizza commercial comes on and I'm distracted. I'm like, the cheese drips off, down and the pepperoni falls. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. It's really not that, it is that bad. I can't even say it's not because it is. And now that I don't eat it, it's even worse. Anyway, so here. The Lord has reserved a life for each and every one of you, a life and a territory for you that far surpasses anything you could possibly imagine. Far surpasses your wildest dreams. I can't sell you this. I feel like a salesman up here. I'm trying to sell it to you. Like, just believe me, dude, with everything in my body, it aches. I want you to believe me so bad, not because it's me, but because it's true. And the longer you take, I can't cuss, but the longer you take to stop being stubborn and just say, you know what, I don't know. The Lord surrounds you with people that know, and pretty soon you do. And those walls come tumbling down, and pretty soon you start to experience this life that is just ridiculously amazing. Hard, though, sometimes. Hard. I mean, I got my tax return, I'm like, sweet! Oh, I got a tithe. Psych. I just about called Brendan, I'm like, does that mean I really got to, I give him my first fruits, but this is like extra. He's like, I can already hear it in my brain. Like, nope. I'm like, oh. So I know the answer. But I'm being transparent with you guys because, dude, that's just my humanness. I know the answer. I know I got to tithe off my tax return. But... Cheerfully. Well, I am going to do it cheerfully. But there's a part of me in a second that is... Oh, dude. Let's go back to exposing. Oh, dude, I can just read the comments coming down. Holy. So, the Lord has reserved this life for you. It's there, it's for you, it's for no one else. It's there, this territory you dream about. This life you dream about. It's better. We saw an example of that last week, didn't we? A life that's better? Yeah. Writing notes down there, bald guy?
Oh, yeah, yes. Amen. Amen, brother.
Family restored?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you ever imagine that?
Never in a million years.
If you weren't here, who was here that night? Who was here last Tuesday? What you saw 2 weeks ago, what you saw was this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up on the internet because it was amazing. He had a whole bunch of people up here, but his two sons spoke. And if you guys didn't know what you were watching, I'm going to tell you. What you were watching, because well, first of all, children, they just talk, you know what I mean? What was that show on TV, kids say the darndest things? There you go. That's what it was, but that was the Father's heart for him. What I mean by his Father, that was God's heart for him. What he was saying, son, I was concerned for you. I just want you to come home. Turn. And when you do, I'll be there. Not when I get around to it, but right now. That's what you guys witnessed and saw. The story of the prodigal son. If you know what that story is, raise your hand. Okay. If you don't, that's fine. Anyway, there were two sons. One left. But before he left, he basically said this: Dad, I want you to die. Give me all your inheritance. Give me my inheritance now. All right? Son leaves like I did. I left, spent all my money, got cash, got broke. Who'd I call? Dad, come help me. Bail me out of jail. Oh, don't be quiet. You know there's people in here who've done that before. Who do you call when you're in trouble? Your buddies? No. You call your mommy. Or your dad. Probably your mommy, because you know your dad was thinking just, give me one of these. Anyway, after he spent all his money and got cashed and had nothing to do and already had told his dad to die, he humbles himself and he comes back home. And when his father sees him, now back in those days, by the way, the father, especially this man, didn't run for anything, ever. They'd be like, well, that's a bad analogy. That'd be like, I just don't really have a good analogy. I was going to say the president, but I don't want to get into political stuff. He was he just didn't run. They don't run. It was more likely someone would carry him. He ran when he saw his son towards him. That's what you saw up here. The father running to his son is what the Lord's heart is for each and every one in here. That was what you're got a picture of and got a taste of when your sons were up here. And it was, dude, when that hit me in the car, that didn't hit me right away. But when I was in the car and that hit me, dude, I was... No tissue, because I'm a man. We don't have tissue in our car. I'm just like... Just saying, we don't have tissue in our car, do we? No. Maybe a Broadway pizza napkin. That's about it. I actually don't have any of those. We don't lick. It just right on the pants. Anyway, we have an inheritance in Christ. That's the key right there in Ephesians 1, 11 through 14, and it's 8:03. Dang it. But this is important. In Christ. That's where your inheritance lies. In Him. Not in you, not in your hubby, not in your job, not in anywhere else. Your inheritance lies in Him. That means you have to be in Him. You do. It says right here. It is in Christ we find out who we are. Who doesn't know who they are in here? Well, I know who I am, so I can't raise my hand. But I know there's people in here that don't know who they are, but they think they know who they are. And that's fine. You'll hit that spot where you really don't know. To find out who you are and what you're living for. Long before we first heard of Christ and got our hopes up, He had His eye on us. He had designs on us for glorious living. Notice none of this stuff when you're in Christ is mediocre. Like, it's not like, working at 7-Eleven. Not that there's anything wrong with working at 7-Eleven. I worked at a different gas station, nameless. I owed them a lot of money, by the way, when I had to do my amends. But it's not a mediocre life. It's a life, and it's not necessarily talking about money. It's a life that you can't even imagine, dude. I have more problems or issues or just stuff coming at me constantly. I mean, if there were arrows, I'd just have thousands of holes all over my whole body. Every day. More than when I was an addict. And now, but it's like I wouldn't have it any other way. Any other way. Keith? Yes. Same thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you don't look in the mirror going, why am I doing this? You look in the mirror and you're like, I know, dude, it's awesome. Byron, right? I mean, Byron needs, anyway. He knows exactly what I mean, what that guy has to deal with. He has to deal with us. Like, not in Serenity Village or willing to come to a meeting us, but the us that's like, well, I think I only want to be sober because the cops pulled me over and they're making me go. So that's, I knew me back then. That was terrible. It's in Christ that you have once, or it's in Christ that once you heard the truth and believed it, that's this message of salvation, that you found yourselves home free, signed, sealed, and delivered by the Holy Spirit. Doesn't that sound good? Yeah. Dude, I mean, you know why I'm victorious in everything I do? That's why. Even when I fall, I'm still victorious. Why? Because I have the strength in Him to get back up and say, you know what? I screwed up. I'm wrong. Help me, show me a different way. And they do. That's your sponsors. That's the people the Lord puts in your life. All right? Just is. You know why that my day was amazing today, even though it was crazy? And why the Lord saved me from taking it out on Jamie? What'd she do? Nothing. She's just trying to help. And I'm going to mow her down with a gun. Dude, there was His mercy and grace right there. And then when we talked, the fruit that came from it was like, I hadn't smiled all day, I don't think. I smiled like crazy. It was funny, right? Right. I paid her to agree with me, so she has no idea what I'm talking about. It's all part of the act. Do you think I think that far ahead? I mean, no, I don't. We're all welcome into His family, but only in Christ is this inheritance found. Stay in alignment and stay on the path. Doesn't matter if you walk the path straight. No path is straight. Just stay on the path. That's perfection. That's perfection for you people pleasers. I'm not doing it if I can't walk it perfect. It's 8:07 now. You're making me go over. Just stay on the path. We'll keep you on it. Trust me. You'll have to go way above and beyond to get off the path. It'll be like bumper bowling. It's okay that your walk is like that. You don't have to. If the path is straight, you can walk from side to side and all over the place. It doesn't matter. Just stay on the path.
That's good.
That's all you got to do. Don't worry about looking like mine or anyone else's. You're on the path, which is not unique because we're all on the path. The path you take on the path will be unique. All right? You're going to fall down in places. I didn't fall down. I'm going to fall down in places and you're going to walk right past me laughing. Going, what? Come on, let's go. And then that person will get convicted and pick me up and be like, come on, I'll help. It's amazing. This is like a Wii sport. There's everyone in this room, but everybody wants to help everybody, even if they don't know you. What they don't want is to see you off the path. Doesn't matter if they know you or not. It's simple. Don't quit. Don't quit. When you want to quit, tell someone. Don't believe the lie. All right? I don't have a big closing hurrah statement, so that's it, you guys.